Oh, hey. Hi. How's it going? All right. Don't have my camera plugged in, but I could plug it in. And I guess I will. I will in a moment. So I'm going to do that. Just stand by. And, welcome to the Converted Man. Yay, I did the thing. All right. Where is it? There we go. Okay. Should turn that on. Okay. Turn it on. There we go. Oh, there we are. Hi, there I am. Oh, I look lovely today. Why does my hair not want to obey me? Like I had it all nice, put the headphones on, it got all nice and messed up. Whatever. You know, like I said, I gotta get hair gel. I was gonna do that and I forgot. Yeah, well, whatever. All right, what was I responding to? Oh, right, this video. Christian asked atheist the big question. Actually asked them several questions. So apparently this is from a 4-hour hangout that they did together. Alexander, Grace, and whoever else this other person is. Ethan. Okay. And because he asked questions, I wanted to answer the questions. Hey, me, pick me. I'll answer your questions. But he asked them to this guy. But I'm going to answer them anyways. And then maybe Alexander, will talk to me. But I'm a small YouTuber, so probably not. Anyways, so let's check that out. And I'll do that. And that will be a thing I do. And that's what this video is. Here we go.
The idea that we exist just by chance alone takes more faith than someone creating us.
All right. Started out the gate strong here. So if you're just joining us, welcome. Deconverted Man here. So the idea that we just existed by chance alone takes more faith than believing that we were created. Okay. So first of all, who has the idea that we were created by just chance? I don't. This is a creationist viewpoint. This is an intelligent designer advocate viewpoint. This is not a scientific viewpoint, nor is it a skeptical viewpoint or necessarily an atheist viewpoint. Whether chance even really is real or an illusion or not is also a question I don't know the answer to. But pretending that chance is at all, there's a filtering mechanism that turns the chance into a sorted realm of ever-diminishing results. So if things can connect together, then they do, and if they can't, they don't, and that's the filtering mechanism. You're welcome, Robin Hood. Yeah. We'll go out next Sunday, maybe, if you want. I don't know where you live, but we'll just pretend that we'll go out on next Sunday, even if we don't. Wait, what's next Sunday? Am I available? Because I've got a concert I gotta go to. No, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. Okay. Just want to make sure. I got a concert I'm supposed to go to. All right. Anyway, so we're here by chance. No, we're not. We're here by chance plus a filtering mechanism. Live in Kentucky? Oh, I'm going. I'll be there. Just take a quick flight there. It'll be no problem. We'll get some chicken. No, it's just because KFC. Actually, I worked at KFC. I would not eat their chicken again. I know how it's cooked, so that ruined it for me. Little Caesars also. I know how they work, and I don't want to eat their pizza anymore. So basically, if I work at a place, I cannot eat that food anymore. That's how that works. All right. So there's a filtering mechanism. So it's not just chance. Chance plus filtering mechanism is why anything is here at all. And it takes zero faith to believe that, because there's ample, that is what we observe. We observe that things are here and that things came to be over a long period of time with slow progression to what they are now. It's far too easy to sit back and see the end result and go, wow, that's amazing, and believe that that's how it just poofed into existence. No, it didn't. It got that way over long periods of time. The Earth formed. It took a while for the Earth to form, and then it took a while to cool down. And I mean like billions of years to do this stuff. So, the sun had to form first, and then the dust and particles and bits that the sun left behind after it had formed are what settled into the various planets that we have, and moons as well, or possibly the moons came from other places and smashed into planets and whatever. But at any rate, gravity is responsible for that. So gravity isn't chance alone, because gravity isn't chance. Gravity just is. Now, the more faith bit, that means to me that you see faith as a bad thing, because you're saying it takes more faith, and that's bad then, right? It's bad to have faith because more faith is bad. Otherwise, you wouldn't say this. So there's Phantom 11, who, if I don't make out with Robin next Saturday, I will be making out with them, because that's what I do. I make out with viewers randomly in my head. Don't worry about it. It's an inside joke. This guy, if he watches my video, he won't understand it. And it doesn't matter. I don't even understand what I'm saying half the time. The other half of the time, I totally do. Okay, so so it takes more faith to believe X. So that means faith is bad. So I should try to have as little faith as possible, meaning that I should be a skeptic, not a theist. And I am a skeptic. So I guess that worked for me. So in other words, I would say to the apologist, don't say it takes more faith, because it just shows that faith is bad. But I mean, you can do it if you want, but I'm just saying, anyways. All right. So that was the first, 6 seconds of this.
In my opinion, and that just makes sense, that it makes more sense that someone would create us than we would just come about by chance.
Okay. So it just, now he's not asking this as a question. He's saying stuff, but I'm responding as I want, because, it's my channel. I get to do what I want. I could get away with that on some other channel. You think I could? Probably. I don't know. It makes more sense as not a way to get to the truth. Okay? It just makes more sense that I have $1 million in my account than the actual amount of money I have. It just makes more sense. Hey, do you know why I pulled you over? Well, it just makes more sense that you're really bored than I did something illegal. It just makes more sense. Hey, Judge, how's it going? Why are you, you're here, what do you have to say for yourself? Well, it just makes sense that I'm guilty without any evidence at all. It just makes more sense. Obviously, I wouldn't be in court unless I was guilty. So I must be guilty, Your Honor. Go ahead and throw the book at me. It just makes more sense. It's not how things work, okay? It just makes more sense is not a method to get to the truth. So you need a methodology.
How does it not require more faith to believe in that atheistic worldview of our existence?
Okay, so atheistic worldview. Here we go with another great hits of apologists. There is no atheistic worldview. This has been said many, many times. There is no atheist anything. Atheist is a description, not a prescription. It is a word that denounces non-belief in God. That's it. Even if you want to go with the old classical idea of atheist that it seems like nobody agrees to anymore, except for the apologists who desperately want it to be that, the idea that there is no God as a solid blanket statement. Again, I did a survey. All the non-believers said that atheist means non-belief in God. So I'm still working on that. I know it's been a while. I was like, what's happening with that? Still trying to figure out what to do with it. All right. And my brother's helping me because it's a big project. Anyway, and thank you, brother, for that. So there is no atheist worldview. It's not a thing. There is no atheist. It's just a word, and so I don't know why he does this.
Existence than it does the Christian worldview of our existence.
Well, again, making sense of or trying to understand or whatever. Okay, so we observe the universe as best we can. Science does that. The scientific method is probably the best method, seems like the best method we have. And then informal logic and formal logic would be kind of next to or below science, maybe. I don't know. And it might be part of science, depends how you view that. I'd like to pretend that they are part of science, so I could say I'm a scientist. But I guess I'm an amateur logician at best. I have not yet been paid to do logic, so one day I'm gonna get paid for it. Then I can call myself a professional logician, but that day has not arrived. So I'm an amateur until somebody pays me for logic. Pay me, dang it! Anyways, it's like trying to get somebody to debunk the law of Strauss. It's just not going to happen, right? But that's just because the law of Strauss is true. Also, I deserve to be paid. It just makes more sense. Okay, so what was it I was complaining about again? Whoa, I got a phone call. Hold on. Hello? What's up? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you believe in God? Oh, you're a robot. Okay. Is there a God? Yes or no? They didn't answer my question. I'm hanging up. And report as spam. Middle. You can't even be bothered to call me with a real person. Come on. Yeah. Scam and spam. Get rid of that bullshit. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Not applicable. Whatever. I don't know. Figure it out. All right. All right. Anyways, what was I doing? All right. Back to the video. Now we have to go back a few seconds.
View of our existence than it does the Christian worldview of our existence.
Okay, so yeah, we observe the universe. Sorry, professional. We observe the universe as it is. We look at stuff. We use the scientific method. We use logic, formal and informal, and we try to make sense of it. We use mathematics, and we use these tools that are at our disposal. And nowhere and no when in using those tools do we need God to explain anything at all. God is purely a theistic thing. It is in the realm of theology and in the realm of mythology. You do not need God to explain diddly squat, ever. And every time humans have tried to invoke God to explain stuff, they've been wrong. They thought lightning was God, wrong. St. Elmo's fire is God, wrong. The Northern Lights are God, wrong. Disease is God, or spirits or evil spirits, wrong. Every single time we've thought it was God or something supernatural, we've been wrong. Why think we're right this one time? And Christianity being even plausibly true is beyond illogical at this point. I am very much anti Yahweh. Yahweh can't be in the way that's been described by many Christians. It just isn't. It doesn't work. It's illogical and unhistorical. There is nothing in the Bible that confirms anything at all other than it's a myth. There are places that actually existed mentioned and a few kings that are mentioned that actually existed, but everything, as far as I can tell, is just a story that people are telling each other. We have contradictory bloodlines of people giving birth to different people. Jesus has two different, has one genealogy, and there's a different genealogy that don't match up. There's no coherent timeline for Jesus' existence. There's no even real reason to believe Jesus existed. It's just popular to say that he did. But there's no contemporary person that thought he did or wrote about him or said anything about him. And the story is written as contrivances to make Jesus do things and be places where he couldn't have been and couldn't have done those things. It's written from an all-seeing narrator point of view. It's boring. People live to ridiculous ages, 999, 800, and all these crazy ages. People coming back to life from the dead. People are getting sucked up into heaven and vanishing up into the sky as if sky is heaven. The world in the Bible is flat. It's just, there is, Genesis didn't happen for sure. Everything in Genesis is wrong from an evolutionary and geological point of view. There was no flood, no Exodus. That didn't happen. Moses is not real. That's pretty much been just admitted at this point by scholars. Abraham, maybe, but Noah wasn't real for sure. There was no worldwide flood. And the story of Noah was probably taken and borrowed and changed from other existing myths, probably the Gilgamesh, more than likely. There's nothing about it that could even be remotely true. So so it's not that. Any other religion, I don't know, but it's definitely not that one. As far as it being a no God universe, if that's what my supposed claim is, well, where is it? Where's this God thing? If it's this invisible force like gravity, okay, cool. Can we test it? No, we can't. It's just asserted as an idea that exists without any evidence at all. So I'm going only where the evidence leads, which is not to any religion at all, but just to that whatever it is, we don't know right now. However universe came to be, how all that stuff works, I don't know, and that's fine. And that's it. That's where it leads me. And I don't add to my beliefs when I don't need to, because I don't want to just pretend that something is true. I want to know if it's true. Yeah, that's why I'm an amateur logician. That's right. You got me. All right.
I don't know how you've reached the conclusion.
Okay, then this guy talks. Okay, he talks for a bit. He says stuff, but I want to talk to this guy.
To humans.
Or do you mean specifically humans on planet Earth?
I'm speaking specifically to humans, but that doesn't it doesn't mean no to the rest.
I can answer the.
So yeah, it's interesting. He focuses primarily on humans because it's a very human-centric idea that he's operating on. And it's like, well, what about all the other stuff? Plants were before any other thing, right? Like, how did plants evolve? I don't know. So therefore God, it's just like, how did any of this come to be? What does my answer have to do with your burden of proof? So you don't know where anything came from. Then that should be it. That should be our answers. I don't know. And that's it. Yeah.
The rest then, because if you believe that it seems like motion amongst created.
That God created. But that's not what I believe. I believe that God created everything, including humans.
So
okay. But, that's nice. Why?
What is the method of rational deduction that you applied that led you to say it makes more sense that a God created the universe than...
Yeah, I'd like to know the answer to this question. Do you think he's going to provide that answer?
Right. The way I currently think about it, and I'm not saying this is the best rationale for it, but one way to conceptualize it is, as an artist or someone who creates something, you create that thing and it exists.
What? Did I miss something? The question was, what method do you use to get to that conclusion? The answer is, when you create something, that thing exists. The bleep are you talking about? So your method for determining that this particular religion, out of all the other ones that are out there, is the right religion and that all your beliefs are true is that a painter makes a painting and then the painting exists. Or a potter makes a pot and then the pot exists. Well, maybe you've been doing a lot of pot or something, because what you said makes no damn sense. It is not a method to discover the truth. A scientist mixes chemicals together and they explode. Actually, it was just water. He was mixing water and somehow exploded. Why? Because it's funny. But does it make sense? No, but it doesn't matter. It's fantasy. It's funny. It's not meant to be real. And that in the story, it can be that way. You know, what crazy madman would come up with something like that? What? I did? Oh, right. But at any rate, so that's not an answer. That's not a method. You know, and so just baffling. Okay.
That seems more reasonable and requires less faith than, you know, I'll put it this way. Say,
and again, with the less faith thing, it's so weird. You think I have faith? You think I don't have any faith? I have zero faith as far as I know. In this sort of stuff, I might have faith about people, or like tomorrow's going to be better than today, or like I believe in people, or like the potential of somebody, like I believe in you. I might say that like it's a belief that I actually have, you know, but that's, you know, I don't know that that's faith. I don't have a faith when it comes to what reality is. It just is whatever it is. And I know a little bit about it. I don't know that much about it. But this guy certainly, it seems to me he doesn't know anything about it. He seems like it's all about the, you know, God said things in the Bible, and I just believe that God did it because reason, you know, I don't know. It just seems like it takes more faith to believe, like as if it actually takes any faith to not believe in God. It takes no faith to not believe in God. In fact, the opposite. It takes faith to believe in God. It doesn't take any faith to not believe in God. But the apologist desperately needs it to be faith, because they need us to be on equal terms. We're not. We're not on equal terms. Okay? You have faith. I don't. That's a you problem, not a me problem, if it's a problem at all. I have no faith, period. End of story. And the idea that it takes more faith to accept X, Y, and Z, therefore I reject it, is also not a system to determine what's true or false. Because even if you could show, let's just say that you could show that it takes a lot of faith to believe X, Y, and Z. That doesn't negate X, Y, and Z. Because it's irrelevant how much faith it requires to believe in something, because that something could still be true or false for that matter. So I would view it that you have a lot of faith. You believe in a lot of things to be a Christian. You have to believe in the Bible, that the Bible is true to some degree. I'm speaking in broad terms because it doesn't apply to everybody. But you have to believe that God made everything, and that God's always existed, and that God's son died and came back, and all the sin of the world was put upon him, and that then sin died, but the effects of sin are still here because God is waiting for the second coming to get rid of all the stuff that's bad, I guess. You know, but Jesus died for your sins so that your eternity is guaranteed, because that's a thing somehow. And okay, whatever. You believe in a lot of things, and the belief list compiles with the amount of things that you believe. Whereas I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in any religion. I don't believe in any God. I don't believe in any soul or spirits or angels or demons or heaven or hell or afterlife or anything paranormal or magical. I believe in the mundane. I don't have a choice in that. I don't even call it a belief, because I just say it's real. Here's a wall. Here's a ceiling. Here's a floor. Here's a freaking stuffed lobster that I put on my head. Okay? Fell off my head. Get on my head and stay. All right. That's a thing. And I don't need to believe in it. I don't have more faith than you. I have no faith at all. I just recognize what's real. That's it. But you, theist, this apologist needs me to have more faith. And he thinks that this is somehow a method to discover what's true.
Someone introduced you to this ceramic jar, and they say, "I made this." And he's like, "Okay, I believe you." You know, it's easier to believe that than, "Hey, this ceramic jar just spontaneously formed out of this clay ball that I had."
Interesting. So this is a scenario I'd love to weigh in on, because he has just admitted that he has more faith than I do. When it comes to that ceramic ball forming into a pot spontaneously, he believes that happened for the entire universe because his God wanted it to do that. His God took, but it wasn't even a clay ball. His God took nothing and made it into the universe somehow. Nothing at all. And made a universe from that somehow. He didn't even have the clay to sculpt. He made all the atoms and molecules and everything else. It made time space. It made everything except for itself, because it always existed. And that he's fine with that. He's fine with that spontaneous creation event because God did it. So if there's a God, then there's no reason to say that a clay ball couldn't spontaneously become a jar, because God could do that. And it would make sense for God to do that. Sure, why not? If God wants to do that for a sign, poof, there you go. Clay pot. In fact, God doesn't even need the clay ball. Just pots everywhere. Link's like, "Oh yeah, pots." He starts destroying the pots to get the rubies. Legend of Zelda. Don't worry about it. Okay, so yeah, but if there's a God, then there's nothing to prevent stuff from just popping into existence, is there? Because God could do that. And you believe God did that in the past, so why not think it could do it now? But nobody really makes this claim. Nobody except the apologist makes the claim that stuff just happened on its own. We don't do that because we don't observe that to be. We don't observe clay pots just coming out of themselves. We observe that, broadly speaking, humans make pots, but under the right conditions, and they'd have to be very extraordinary conditions, but it could happen. If you had clay in an area of nature where the conditions were right, a pot shape could indeed be formed. It's unlikely, but it could happen on its own without any intervention at all. If you had like a cave formation of some sort, maybe a hole in the ground, an indent in the ground like this or something, and then clay was in there already, and there was a big rock landed right in the middle, and it hardened over time, and maybe some animal kicked the rock away, or maybe the rock, blew away, because that happens sometimes, and then you just have this clay pot. And you go, wow, you dig it up and you're like, hey, there's a clay pot. Or maybe the sand around it blows away and you just find this clay pot. That could happen. And so you don't know. And I've mentioned the arrowheads. If you find a stone in the shape of an arrowhead, it might be an arrowhead, or it just might be a triangle stone. And unless you have the qualifications to figure it out, you're not going to know. You don't know. And so this isn't something that people do. This isn't something that people say. When it comes to humans, we didn't just pop into existence out of nowhere for no reason. We didn't just come about by chance. We have a series of progression of things that happen over time called biological evolution. That's how we came to be. That's what all the data shows. It's not a mystery how we got to be here. It's not a mystery how other animals came to be, or plants, or any other living thing. Now, at some point, you go back far enough, and you might have some mysteries, like how the chemicals got together in the first place, maybe. But, okay, so we don't need, at no point do we say, well, all of it just appeared out of nowhere, suddenly, magically. We don't say that. Nobody says that, except for the apologists, because their God made everything appear out of nowhere by magic.
Uh-huh. So what I would say is confounding material. The more true shaped it,
Very good point. That's smart. Right. But where did that matter come from to begin with?
Okay, so after a lengthy rebuttal by the atheist here, this guy asks the question, where did the matter come from? Don't know. Thanks for asking. I don't know. Don't know. And he's perfectly okay. This is so weird for me. There's some sort of disconnect going on with the apologist. In this case, I would dare say. Because he's perfectly fine with God always being. But he's not okay with matter just always being. Well, energy, really. Because energy has always been, as far as I can tell. I don't know. I think that's true. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, energy could have, as far as I know, could have existed forever. It doesn't need anything. It just always is. It's just a fundamental force of things. And you're okay with that for it to be God, but not to be just energy. Why? If you can say that God just exists, and that's just it, why not save a step, like Carl Sagan said, save a step and just say that the energy always existed? Although Carl Sagan said universe, but whatever. Just say that always was. Why not? But you don't like that answer. You don't like that possible answer, even though that could very well be the answer. I'm not saying that it is, though, because I'm not making claims about the universe and the true nature of reality like the theist is doing. He's claiming he knows that it all came from this God that's always existed, and that's fine. But the energy or matter to always exist, it had to come from somewhere. Now, the guy responds and says that it never came from somewhere, it's always been, and all that. And I pretty much agree with him. So, like I said, I'm not here to cover what the atheist says. I'm here to talk about what the theist is saying. So we're going to
How is it that matter just always existed?
Just did. How is it that God always just existed?
Of times, and I usually think for the mind where the flaw is. Think, well, how that must be a divine. But the flaw is in thinking that non-existence exists.
Yeah, there's a lot I agree with what the atheist says as far as the word nothing. Like he spends a little bit of time and it's like, yeah, I've talked about this before. Nothing is so much not a thing that it isn't and never was or could be, other than an idea, which is still a thing. So it's weird. Nothing can't even be that. So there was no nothing ever, and nor could there ever be. Maybe. But anyways, yeah.
It has no basis in reality. There never has been. Impossible. To talk about it is meaningless. We can have words that kind of approximate it, but we are just speaking in completely delusional terms. That does not exist. So it's not true that something has come from nothing.
Right. And not only that, but I don't know, because I'm fine with the idea that something came from nothing. I don't know, but I don't think nothing is. But no atheist, no non-believer that I am aware of thinks that anything came from nothing. That is a purely apologetic stance. The apologist says things came from nothing with God's help. That's a them problem, not an us problem. In fact, I just had an idiot nitwit post on my video, do atheists believe the universe came from nothing? And he didn't bother watching the video at all. He just wanted to spout Bible nonsense at me. And I'm like, did you watch my video? Did you watch my video? Oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, why do I care what you say? If you haven't watched my video, talk about my video or you're going to get banned. And so if he responds again and it's not about the video, I'm just going to ban the guy and then his comments will be poof. Which I don't like. I'd rather the comments stay, but he would be banned. Like maybe a line through his name or something. Anyways. Okay, so what's this guy say?
That's impossible.
All right.
And I guess the Bible's answer to that would be that, and I'm not rejecting what you're saying. I'm not denying it. I'm not even necessarily challenging it. I'm just trying to throw this out there for fodder. But I think it would be that God always existed.
See? Remember I said that he's fine with this notion, this idea that something always existed. It's just the thing that he wants to have always existed is God rather than energy or matter or whatever. See, I'm fine with whatever it is. It may be God or energy, whatever, fine. If that's always been, then that's the way it is. Cool. But he's not. He wants it to be God. He has a vested interest in it being his God. And that's it. He's not open to the possibility of not God. Well, maybe he is. I don't know for sure. But, so that's how it comes off in this, to me as a jaded skeptic. So if he's watching this, I'm not trying to read his mind or anything. So, but anyways.
Before the planets, before a solar system, before we ever existed, God is how.
Okay. Well, why say that? Why not just say that matter is or that energy is? What's the difference?
The Bible says it. So there's
the Bible says it. Yeah, that's nice.
No end or start to God. God just is.
Yep. Okay. So God is the energy or the matter. Cool.
But we have a start, and our existence on this planet has a start, and this planet has a start, and our solar system has a start. So
yeah, and every single one of those starts can be explained through natural processes. Now, to some degree, obviously, there's some mystery there for sure. Not going to pretend like there isn't, but we have explained everything by natural processes so far. There is zero reason for me to think that suddenly we'll have to explain something by a non-natural process. That doesn't make sense, and also doesn't seem to be the pattern that follows. If every time you open a door, you get hit by a pie, I think that you might conclude reasonably that the next time you open the door, you're going to get hit by a pie. And maybe you need to duck so that the pie avoids you. Also, I'm not sure what's causing the pie to hit you in the face. Some sort of contraption or somebody behind the door. Doesn't matter. The point is, if it happened every other time, you have a pretty good reason to think it's going to happen again. Maybe it doesn't happen again, but it's kind of like, look, if every time you approach me, I was like, hi, how you doing? Smacked you in the face. I think that you wouldn't approach me anymore because you don't want to get smacked in the face. You might stay back quite some distance from me so that I'm like, hey, come here a little bit. I can't reach you because every other time I've done it. But maybe this time I won't, but every other time that we humans have explored things and looked at things and studied things, it's been some naturalistic process that's going on. And at no point do we need to go, well, I mean, maybe God just did that because, I don't know, we ran out of answers. And it does seem to me to be that when we run out of answers, that the theist is all too happy to insert God into those gaps. Don't know how life started, must be God. Don't know how the universe started, must be God. Don't even know if the universe did start, but it must be God. Fine tuning must be God. You know, it's always, that's it. And I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be. Why would it? Why can't it just be processes that happen because there's no other way for reality to unfold? This is just how things are. And there's no deeper explanation than that. What if that's the case? What if everything just unwound and that's just how it is and that's how it works? There's no deeper why than that. I guess it's scary for some people to consider that, or it's frightening. You know, it's like, damn, man, we're here for no reason. Yep. No reason. We're just here. There's no objective anything. Well, there's some objective things, but yeah, we're just here, man. That's it. Why? There is no why. You have to invent the why. You have to come up with that. You're on your own. Well, broadly speaking, there's other humans. We have each other. But that's it. We're alone in this universe. My word, that's scary. Better believe in aliens. Make you feel better. Yeah, it just makes more sense. Aliens invented humans. Just feels better to think that. We have a purpose. I don't know what, but the aliens invented us, so they must have had a reason. Don't know what that reason is, but I mean, aliens invented us. Well, that's a relief, man. And right before I die, the aliens are going to come and beam my consciousness into their computer, and I'll exist in their computer. Yeah, that'll be great. So glad that that's true. Oh, wait, I don't have any reason to believe in that? Oh, but it just seems more plausible than we're just here for no reason, just cause. That seems boring. I don't like that answer. So that can't be the answer. And when has life ever been about what we like? Honestly. When has it ever turned out to be, oh yeah, hey, it turns out, actually, everybody loves me. And I was always right every time. That's just, wow. I thought people hated me sometimes. I thought some people wanted me dead. I thought I was wrong. But no, it turns out, actually, I was right. And everybody loves me. That's just fantastic. The other day, a couple days ago, my car, I had it at the shop. And so I had to ride from somebody, and their car got a flat tire. And it was raining. So I was like, you know what? I'm going back to bed. Screw it. This day just is done. You know, I'm done. That's it. You know, I'm done for today. And I was like, hey, yeah, you know what I really hate is when I have $1 million, you know, start saying that out loud. So like maybe the universe will believe that I hate having $1 million and give me $1 million to spite me, you know, because the universe is against me, right? But isn't that so egocentric? That's so me-centric. That's a me problem. That things aren't going my way, so it must be against me. The rain is falling because of me. The flat tire happens just to punish me. Because everything's out to get me. Because it's all about me. I mean, I am awesome, but I know that I'm actually a television show in the future that people watch, but that doesn't mean that right now that's what's going on. Wait, what? I'm in the Truman Show? Who would watch my life? It's boring right now. But next season, I'm getting a girlfriend. Right? Anyways.
God was that thing that was not nothing. And then he created this something. I think that's how the Bible would put it if we were to kind of extrapolate it to what we're saying.
So what I would say is that we have not ever had a true start, you and I, because the matter that makes up our bodies and our brains, which creates our consciousness and all of that stuff, was derived from materials that existed on the earth.
Yeah. Everything that has pretty much been something at some point that's always been. And this gets funny because we go, well, we invented, the wheel. No, we didn't. We don't invent anything. Everything's already been. It's just a change on what we observe. There is nothing new you can make. Not really. It's always based on something that exists. There is no new anything. It's just stuff that already is, but shaped differently to be what we call invention. And that's true of our matter as well. So the atoms and subatomic particles that are me will always be, but they won't always be me. So that's weird, but that's kind of cool. But yeah, anyways, here for the theist once again. So let's get past the atheist guy.
Our souls, if you will, or our particular consciousness, or consciousnesses, however you'd say that.
Yeah. What I'd say in scientific.
Yeah, the soul, the spirit, those are just, to me, poetic ideas. Your brain is you. You are your brain. There was a thing I saw a little bit ago. I didn't read up on it, though, that was talking about the entire body is kind of part of your consciousness as well. Like you're so used to all of this that if you lose an arm, the reason it's so traumatic is because your consciousness is used to that arm. And this is, you have phantom arm problems because of that. So you have to retrain your brain to accept that reality. So yeah, anyways, what else?
Terms as our pattern, this brand that gives me chill,
man.
Think about how unrepeatable and unique I am.
Yeah, you're special, man.
I believe it.
But I don't see how. Where's the proof that is that it's the case that we are just an amalgamation of all this matter?
That's the observation. That's just what the observation and data tells us. We are more, but also we are reducible to our parts. We are more than the sum of our parts. But yes, you can reduce us to just chemicals and molecules. I don't think of it that way. We don't think about ourselves in that way. We don't think ourselves as meat puppets being driven by our brains, even though we are. And that our brains are just a bunch of neurons and chemicals floating around, and that those neurons and chemicals are just molecules bouncing around, and that everything is just doing what it does because of physical forces. And that's just it. It's all just natural phenomenon of physics going on. That at its core, it just is. And there's no deeper why to it. There's no deeper reason for it. We're just here. Things are just here. And that's it. Kind of scary, I guess. Might seem a little sad. Might seem depressing. But that's what the data shows. So the evidence is all over the place. And I guess I'd say, where do you find that proof? In science. Where do we find any proof at all for your ideas? We don't. The idea that there's a God, there's no proof of that at all, not even a little. There's no test for it. There's no empirical evidence of it. And as far as I know, there's no sound argument for it. There's lots of bad arguments and bad reasoning, which we've already dealt with here. there's a belief that you have, that other people have, but you have that belief for psychological and cultural reasons, not for logical or scientific ones. Anyway, so that's it. I guess I'm done with this for now. I mean, there might be more. I don't know, but 15 minutes is good. I thought it was going to go an hour, but I didn't. Save by 10 minutes. Let's go see what chat says. See anything I need to respond to. Why did the chicken cross the road? I don't know. The road had it coming. See, the chicken had a vendetta against the road. And the road had double crossed the chicken before, and the chicken knew about it. So he crossed the road, and now the road has been rubbed out by the chicken mafia. I hate the whole we came by chance. Something was going to be here. That fact that we're here is fantastic. If something intended for us to be here. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's just we're here, and that's cool. It's like we're like, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson said something like, we're a way of the universe to know itself or something like that. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Any deeper than that is just your own idea about what purpose you have. That's up to you to figure out. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm a skeptic. Anyways, all right. I think that's it. Did I see any? No, I think that's it. Yeah. That's it. Until next time, be skeptical. And after next time, stay skeptical.